We're looking at this whole story about a Nigerian TikTok star, goes by the name Peller,
Okay, yeah.
and he was absolutely positive, like convinced he ran into his idol, Wizkid, the Afrobeat superstar.
Oh, wow.
Big fan, huge fan.
Yeah.
We've got this snippet from an article online that breaks the whole thing down, and it's wild.
Sounds like it.
But it also makes you think, about fame and fandom and all that.
Yeah.
Like how easily we can, I don't know, get tricked by what we see, especially online.
It's true. Our brains can play some pretty interesting tricks on us, especially when we're dealing with someone we idolize.
Right. Like picture this. Peller's just out and about, living his life, and bam, he sees this guy who looks exactly like Wizkid.
Oh, no way.
I'm not talking about just a passing resemblance. Like, this dude could have been his twin. The article actually talks about this thing called the doppelganger effect?
Right. Yeah, it's fascinating.
Basically saying that our brains, especially when we're like super excited or emotional,
Yeah.
they kind of latch on to those strong visual similarities.
Yeah.
Like they're looking for confirmation.
Exactly. And they filter out anything that doesn't quite match up.
So in the Peller's mind, it's like, boom, there he is, Wizkid.
Makes sense.
But it gets even better or worse, depending on how you look at it.
Oh.
They didn't just like make eye contact from across the room. They shook hands, chatted a bit.
Oh, wow. So a full-on interaction.
Yeah. Not just a quick glance.
I bet that really solidified the belief in Peller's mind.
For sure. Imagine that rush, right? Meeting your musical hero, shaking his hand.
I can only imagine.
Must have been a total mind melt moment.
Yeah, that kind of adrenaline rush can definitely lead to a bit of cognitive distortion, let's say.
Totally. And the video, it's all right there. You can see how excited Peller is, totally beaming.
Oh, I bet.
It just shows you how strong those, what do they call, parasocial relationships
Right, yeah.
can really be, the ones we build with celebrities online or through their music.
Makes you think.
It can feel so real, even though, let's be honest, we don't actually know these people.
Yeah, it's interesting how social media has really blurred those lines between public figures and their fans.
Mm-hmm.
We have access to their lives in a way we never did before.
True.
And that can create the sense of intimacy, even if it's totally one-sided.
Exactly. So here's Peller, living the dream, thinking he just met Wizkid. But here comes the plot twist.
Oh, boy.
It wasn't Wizkid. Turns out it was a lookalike.
You're kidding.
And the internet. Let me tell you, the internet went absolutely nuts when they found out.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
The article mentioned how some big Nigerian news outlets like legit.eng picked up the story.
Right.
And it just blew. It's crazy how fast things spread these days.
Memes, jokes, you name it, the internet had a field day.
Gotta love the internet sometimes.
People were laughing, sharing the video. Some even questioned if Peller could, actually recognize his own favorite artist.
Oh, wow. So it wasn't all just lighthearted fun.
Well, there was that for sure.
Yeah.
But it kind of raised some other questions too, right?
Definitely. I mean, it's funny, but it also makes you think about, like, fandom and how we see reality online.
And, what it means to have these celebrity lookalikes out there.
Oh, yeah. That's a whole other can of worms.
Right. Like, on one hand, you've got everyone having a good laugh, sharing the video, making it into memes and stuff. But then you've also got this wave of, well, I don't know what to call it, but let's say constructive criticism
Okay, yeah.
about whether Peller should have been able to tell the difference between Wizkid and, well, someone who just happens to look a lot like him.
It's almost as a double-edged sword, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
This whole thing puts Peller in a much bigger spotlight, which could be good or bad. Who knows?
That's a good point.
On the one hand, he's way more known now than he was before, right? But on the other hand, he's also the subject of all this, scrutiny and jokes. Makes you wonder, how this whole going viral thing really affects someone online.
It's like a real-life experiment or something, isn't it?
Kinda, yeah.
You have Peller, just a regular guy on TikTok, loves Wizkid's music,
Right.
and suddenly, bam, he's internet famous.
All because he mistook someone for his idol.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and the article actually talks about how it's changed his follower count and all that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like his whole content creation thing has taken a wild turn.
Wow, talk about a twist.
You said it.
But maybe, just maybe,
Mm.
maybe this is a good thing.
You think so?
Think about it. All this attention, maybe it could actually help him meet Wizkid for real.
Oh, that's an interesting thought.
Right. Sometimes, like, the craziest things can lead to unexpected opportunities.
Yeah, true.
Maybe this is his chance.
Who knows? Maybe this whole thing will catch Wizkid's attention.
It'd be like something out of a movie.
Wouldn't it?
Mistake a look-alike for your idol, go viral, and then end up meeting the real deal.
That's some serious destiny stuff right there.
I know, right? It's almost too perfect.
But even if that doesn't happen,
Yeah.
this whole thing definitely brings up some interesting points about fandom, especially online.
Oh, absolutely, like we were saying earlier.
Yeah,
It's so easy to get caught up in the image,
totally.
deep fakes, filters, all that.
And with celebrities, they're always putting out this carefully crafted persona.
It's hard to tell what's real sometimes.
Exactly. And this whole Peller thing, it's like a reminder
Of what?
that even with all the information we have online,
Right.
we can still be fooled. Appearances can be deceiving.
It's like a lesson for the social media age.
Kind of, yeah.
Got to be more careful about what we see and believe online.
Don't take everything at face value.
Exactly.
But let's not forget about the human side of things, too.
Oh, right.
I mean, at the end of the day, this is about a fan.
Peller.
Yeah, who was just excited to have met his idol.
You can't really fault him for that.
No, not at all. His passion for Wizkid's music seems totally genuine.
And that makes the whole thing even more, relatable.
Makes sense.
We've all got people we admire,
Musicians, actors, you name it.
people whose work inspires us.
It's natural.
And sometimes, that admiration can make us do some silly things.
Especially when we think we're meeting the real deal.
Exactly. But then it makes you wonder,
About.
where is the line between just being a fan
Okay.
and being, obsessed?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Right. And how do we even navigate all this fandom stuff?
Especially online, where it's so easy to get caught up in it.
It's a tricky situation.
Definitely. And this whole Peller and Wizkid look-alike thing, it's a good starting point to talk about all that.
It's funny, isn't it?
It is.
How something that starts as a funny video
Right?
can actually lead to these bigger conversations.
It just goes to show there's often more to these online trends than we think at first.
This whole thing has kind of got layers to it,
Yeah. It's definitely not just surface level.
On the one hand, it's hilarious, like classic mistaken identity.
Totally. Like something out of a sitcom.
But then, like you said, it makes you think about all these other things.
Fandom, online identity, all that.
And how, life can just throw these curveballs at you.
It really can.
So let's put ourselves in Peller's shoes for a minute.
Okay.
You've just become a viral sensation, but not for the reason you'd hoped.
It's got to be a mixed bag of emotions for sure.
What do you do next?
Yeah.
Just try to hide and hope it all goes away.
Or do you lean into it,
That's the big question, right?
Huge question, yeah.
Do you try to control the story, or do you just let the internet do its thing?
It's a tough call.
Part of me thinks you got to embrace it,
Embrace the chaos.
embrace the weirdness. Like they say, any publicity is good publicity.
Especially for someone trying to build a platform online.
Exactly. This
Yeah.
could be the thing that, launches his whole career.
Or, it could backfire spectacularly.
True. There's always that risk.
He could be forever known as that guy who thought a lookalike was Wizkid.
Oof. Yeah, that's a tough one.
But maybe he can use it to his advantage,
How so?
Like, if he's in on the jokes, shows he can laugh at himself.
Oh,
Could be really endearing, actually.
and maybe he could even team up with a lookalike.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Make some content together, turn the whole thing into a bit.
That could be brilliant.
Right. Shows he's got a sense of humor about it.
And they could make some seriously funny stuff.
It's like sometimes the best way to deal with an awkward situation
Yeah,
is to just go all in on the awkwardness.
I like that.
Own it. But you know what else is great about this whole thing?
What's that?
It sparked all these important conversations.
Right. About parasocial relationships, social media, all that.
Makes you realize there's a lot more to this story than just funny video.
Yeah, it's deeper than it looks.
So to wrap things up, dear listener, we want to leave you with something to think about.
Okay, shoot.
What would you do if you were Peller?
It's a good question.
Would you hide from the spotlight, or would you, use it to your advantage?
And what does this whole thing tell us about the world we live in?
Where fame and fandom and, reality itself,
It's all so fluid these days.
it's constantly changing, you're right.
So yeah, keep those questions in mind.
As you keep exploring the world around you.
Happy deep diving, everyone.
Until next time.